Hello, everybody. This is Jarno, founder of Amsterdam Street Art. Today's quarantine interview is with Selwyn Senatori, the one and only artist famous from Amsterdam. He's in the quarantine status as well, from Amsterdam. So, how are you, Selwyn?
Hey man, thanks for having me. I'm doing super fine. I'm considering the circumstances. I'm accelerating as a madman.
Because now you're in your studio. I think everybody that follows you sees every day a cool update. You do a lot of cool stuff. You have your live feed as well. Yeah, you're producing normally already crazy, but now it looks like you're producing double or quarter as much.
Yes, it definitely doubled or tripled. Um, the thing is, there is no distraction anymore. So if there were distraction already, it's gone. There's no noise in the street. There's no people hassling you. You can go 360 kilometers an hour now, full forward. So I tripled everything. So I'm fucking busy now.
So yeah, that's a good thing to hear, man. That's really positive, and I think it's also nice for your followers to see this positive vibe of you. That's I think as I read in the comments, it's something people also want or they can use in this hard times. Don't you think so?
Yes, I think it's very important to to actually embrace the positive side. Of course, the whole um, the whole coronavirus brought this um, scary negative feeling, and you can dwell in that. You can suck it in, but you can also reject it immediately, and that's what I do. It's not fight or flight. It's just rejection. I'm sorry for everybody's losses, and there's so many people dying. It's horrible, but it's such a great time for the rest. The opportunities are there everywhere. If you start thinking in different ways how to live your life now, you're more focused, you're more connected with the earth, with everything around you. It's beautiful times, man.
So that's what it delivers to you. Like I said, you are from Amsterdam. Your studio is in Amsterdam. You're living in Amsterdam. You're born and raised there. To have a small or have a serious note as well, like you already said, there's happening a lot around the world. How is the situation next to your personal situation? How is the situation in the Netherlands or at least in Amsterdam for as far as you can see?
Well, thing is, I lived in Holland almost all my life, but I'm born in Italy, so I'm actually Italian,
Okay.
Italian passport, um, and my dad is Italian, and my mother is from Amsterdam. So we have quite a lot of family still in Italy,
Okay.
and the situation there is horrible. People have been in quarantine already for more than a month and a half. So it's eating them up. In Amsterdam, we have a different approach, as you may have noticed in the news. We have a more liberal view in terms of the quarantine. The government lets people decide for themselves. We have strict guidelines, but we can move a little in those guidelines, and that makes it a little bit more free. So you have the lockdown feeling, but you also have that freedom. The only thing that's really missing now is, the social encounters that I used to have, drinking coffee with people, meeting people. That was my life. I had my round. I
Yeah.
went to the studio, go outside, have coffee, go back in the studio, go outside, have lunch, go back in the studio, go outside, drink another coffee, meeting people everywhere. That's also my feeding ground for making art. So that's what I really miss now in this situation.
Yeah, so this is something I had on paper here as a question for you because Yeah, I think you're one for me, one of the most social active artists that I know. You're always running around. You have a lot of meetings. You're always at parties. You drink, like you said, you drink a lot of coffee. This is something you also take your fans in your life a little bit. You show a lot of this. Yeah, I was wondering how you're already telling a little bit the situation, but how is this different for you? Because now you're already you paint a lot in your studio. I know this as well, but now there's the contradiction is or the contrast is very big.
Yeah, true. I love the social, outgoing stuff. I like to go out. I like to drink that coffee. I like to go to parties, but also like my family time. And now I have more time for the family, so that's a good thing. But actually, this whole COVID thing, this is already my life. This is already my life, except I have less people now. I have less interaction with real human beings, and that's what disturbing me. But I have so much more time to, read and catch up, and actually focus on stuff. Look at my paint. Really take a look at my paint. I was always very fast in painting. Now I'm taking a little step back and developing more, maybe more skill. I don't know. So I have more time for
Yeah.
that.
I understand that way. Like we maybe the rush of finishing something is a little bit less. You get a little bit more time as an overview over your whole life, but also as an artist, we are a lot more time now in the studio. So there's a lot more time to think about your material choice. Is that line the best line? Where you said maybe you are in that way a vibrant painter. You're always in your movement and I think that can be interesting as well. I've to see that progress of where that leads you.
It does, it does. And I think for me as an artist, I'm kind of an impressionist. So I filter out everything that's going on in society, and I use that, and I use pop, and I use pop culture, but I really focus on what's happening now, so I can really use this whole situation in my art again.
Yeah, yeah. This is something like. This is something in your style. You use what's around you. You use what you see
Yes.
in that way. That can be interesting. Do you, in another serious question is what we ask all the artists is do you already see shifting things shifting around you in a way of less clients or maybe for you more clients, or do you see your what happened with the people around you who are normally your clients? Do they already how is the situation for those people?
Uh, well, I can only speak for my business, and I don't know what's happening, but I have clients stacked up till above my head. There's so many things going on. I get my assistant is running 24/7 with commissioned work. So we have a lot of commissioned work right now. There are a lot of people who order. Maybe it's because they're at home and they're looking at their empty walls. I don't know. Maybe it's because they cannot go outside and spend their money on fancy dinners. I don't know. But everybody is ordering paintings and drawings so yeah, there's so much work right now. There's more now than there was before.
Do you can it also have maybe because people love what you're doing and they want to support you as well in these times?
I don't think that I don't get that feeling because maybe it's just the positive vibes that we're sending out. I don't know. Maybe you want to have a little. Maybe because it's also in these times of crises, um, people look for handmade artifacts. People are looking for real stuff. And maybe people want to buy that. I was intrigued by the Liederwij Edelcore podcast. I don't know if you heard that.
No.
And Liederwij Edelkoort, of course, is a trend watcher and a futurist, and she's Dutch, by the way. And she told in her podcast that people in times of crises and war and during war and illnesses start knitting.
Oh, really?
And the knitting thing is exploding. And I see on the Instagram a lot of people, knitting
Making their own stuff.
Yeah, So I think people just want something that's now, that's positive, and it's handmade.
All right. So that's in that way a positive side. Like we hear different kind of stories, of course. So I'm very happy to hear this story of you, and I hope other artists can take a positive vibe out of that as well. Is there something maybe you can give as an advice to other artists that you that's something they you can give them?
Yeah, I would like to. I think that it's now is really the time to focus on what is going on. And as an artist, I think you have an obligation almost to reflect on the situation and to show people, and maybe not in a commercial way or always with a commercial in mind, so with selling in mind, but just as a reporter, as a reporter, just report what is going on in the world and show it in your way. I think that's very important now because we're all listening to the news, we're reading the newspapers, we see pictures on the Instagram, and there's a lot of noise. But I want to see what the artists think, because the artists, they look further than not only the now situation, but they also reflect on maybe what's going after this or what will happen after a week or after a month. So I think it's the obligation of an artist to show what is going on in their own way and translate that.
I think that that's a very nice thing, and I have to say, and to do, of course, because in that way you're more than right. It's we artists, not only painting artists, street artists or graffiti artists, but all the artists or all the creatives have an obligation in being a perspective of time. Like in their own kind of way. So this time asks for stand up and show this. I think that's right as well. We see the specific characters behind you in your studio.
Yeah.
The one and only Selwyn Senatori creators.
Yeah.
Is this something they are always representing time? So those are the characters that you said that come back in your stories. Um, are they specifically going through a different to a growing time as well?
For sure. For sure. They definitely, these are actually they're sexless objects that always, they're pillars in the story. They're always there, and the story evolves around them. But let me take you to one of the paintings. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course, man. Show us around. This is also a question, but we can do it right away. Show us around.
Yeah,
and please tell us as much as possible, Selwyns. Tell us as much as possible about the paintings, materials, etc.
Well, the thing is, this is a painting I recently finished, and these are the same characters. And as you can see, the girl is saying, this virus makes me want to party even more. And he says, yeah, I know, baby. We're on it. We take care of business. So this is actually the frustration of the people that, they want to get out there. This is going to be, when this is over, it will be, I don't know, people will go crazy, I guess, massively going to restaurants and parties and exploring things. And these are actually different small paintings I was telling you about that I'm doing that are a little bit more detailed.
Yeah. Oh
I'm
yeah.
taking more time.
You can really see that there's immediately a different style in it, huh?
Yeah,
The
so
same
I'm taking
style,
more
but
time.
a little bit more. Yeah, that's cool to see.
Yeah, you see Run MC over here.
Oh, that's a nice one and a famous one.
Yeah, I was listening to Run MC, so I thought, yeah, I got to paint that. And this is me in front of the Blick store in New York. So yeah, I'm doing that. Also, this is for a client that I'm doing in India. It's
All
a
right.
very large painting. So this is one of the commission work that I'm doing. This one has a little mouth.
Oh wow, genius! That's cool.
Up, up. So I'm really inspired by this whole COVID thing.
I
This
hear as
is
well.
I booked a trip to New York 2 weeks ago, and of course the flight was cancelled and the trip because
Yeah,
of the COVID. So I reflected on this. I talked to a lot of people over there, and they all were running to their homes outside of the city.
yeah,
So their second homes, or up in upstate.
yeah.
This is one of the
Up in the
characters
hills.
who's fleeing New York. You see?
Yeah, that's really cool. It's a nice message as well.
And here I'm working on. I don't know if you can see that. On me and my girl on the couch.
Ah, it's a start. Yeah.
Oh, let me see. Are you back?
Yeah, we are here. And
Oh,
what are the materials you're using in mostly?
well, I usually use acrylics and whatever I can find, but I have my own palette of colors, of course, that I use through the years, and it's mostly acrylics. Sometimes I use spray cans, but not a lot, just a little bit,
Yeah,
and some pencils, some markers, but usually just brushes and paint.
that's cool. Yeah. You said you had a trip booked to New York.
Yeah.
You've been. I'm not sure if I have the date good. I think it was last year, but can be the year before. You made a wall in Hell's Kitchen, New York.
Yes.
How did this go?
Um, well, first off, I must say I'm not a street artist, but I do a mural some from time to time. And the thing is why I emphasize it because I did a little bit of graffiti when I was a teenager in the 80s, early 90s. So that explains how old I am. I tried it a little, of course, like everybody else. I wasn't that good at it, but I loved it though. And the mural thing just took off. Sometimes I just get a call and they ask me for a nice painting, but bigger, and they asked me to make it on the wall. So
Yeah.
I was called by this owner of the building and the restaurant in Hell's Kitchen, and they wanted to do me a very large wall outside. They wanted to have me make a painting that consisted almost half a block. So it was very big.
So
And
meanwhile, we show the wall. Ta-da! So go on.
so yeah, so that's the wall, and the wall actually has two persons on it on the front side. It's two lovers sitting on a table at a table, having a nice bottle of champagne and just spreading love.
Yeah, I really liked it. So and like you said, normally you wouldn't describe yourself as a street artist. So it's nice to see your style from a canvas going to a wall, or even a bigger this way, even a bigger wall. The restaurant in New York. Um, do you, for you, maybe it's even easier to say what is the difference to approach a wall? What makes it more? What makes the difference, or where and where does it compare a canvas in the studio and doing a wall?
Well, literally, it's I never know. Well, I never know how to start. So I always now I take a broom and I just duct tape a brush to it, and I start to make a small drawing, and from there I start doing the wall. I never make a sketch, so I never make a drawing on before,
Okay.
and I just start. So it's like a canvas. I just start. I don't really make a whole. I don't map it out, you know. So it just happens, and I did a couple of restaurants like that, and some walls in different countries, also in Holland. But I just do it. I don't know. Just start, just start painting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah, that's what makes it so vibrant. I think also your paintings. Meanwhile, I will show now some of your other bigger works so people can see that as well. What is your favorite assignment that you have done in the bigger scale?
Wow. Um, well, wow. I guess the mural in New York is for me. It's one of those things that are very nice because it keeps everything alive, and there are a lot of people photographing it. So um, and it's nice to be part of something in a city where it's very difficult to make something and actually have it there for a long period. So I think that's a nice thing. It's a nice accomplishment. Um, Aside from that, man, I did so many nice things. I don't know. I painted a food truck in a refugee camp in Greece, Lesbos. Um, that was really nice. Too many things, man. There's so
That
many things happening.
we have
And
shown a lot of the works. The truck with Lesbos people seen as well.
yeah.
How is this gonna play out for us all? Not only.
I think a lot of people are in deep shit. Um, not virus wise, but um, financially. And as artists like you and me, we're used to live with a jar of peanut butter and a cup of coffee and a banana. You know, we can do this. We can do this. Thing is, though, we built something. So we have a family, I bought a house, you have a car, you have shit, you have a boat, you have, I don't know, a studio.
Yeah, we expanded slowly.
So you got to pay your shit. You got to pay your rent. You got to pay everything. So there's a lot of people who didn't put money aside and won't survive the crisis. Thing is, though, as an artist, you can always fall back on your skills, like I said before. Um, you always have your toolbox inside of you. You just need a crayon and a piece of paper or a wall. I don't know. I don't care. You can make a business out of anything with your skills as an artist. So I think that's good. But there are a lot of people who went to the office every day, did something for a firm that's in deep shit now, and they will be laid off and don't have a job. So that will be very sad. Yeah,
That
there will
is.
be a lot of sad
Yeah, that
things
is
going on.
something. Yeah, that I'm also at least that I'm worried about. Like you said, we are used to even we are used to staying inside a lot of times. So
Yeah,
this is not even that strange for us. But like you said, as an artist, you next that effect, if it really goes shit bananas, then like then you can always fall back on the most simple job. But in the end, you should have the solution inside. Your creativity is in your hands and in your mind, and if you combine those, I think as an artist we should make it. Um,
I think so because we're all thinking associative. So you're always finding another form. to what you're used to. And from that, things evolve and start happening all by themselves. It's magic, man. This is pure magic. I'm broadcasting every morning at 10 o'clock on the Instagram.
Yeah.
I did this for the children so that everybody's kids have something to do. You know, we just go draw or paint or anything. And now we have all these famous people coming on the show every morning, and there are more and more people watching.
Very cool.
There's no business in this yet. We're not making any money, but there's so many people happy now. I love this.
Yeah, this is something we go back to. Like you said, we go back to some of the basics, and the social part is the one that we benefit from, and this is something I hope for myself that people will not forget. People forget pretty easily, but let's hope that this is something they will keep in mind. You know that it's a world crisis, not one country, so it's something that binds us together again.
True.
Yeah, like you said, you're every day on 10 o'clock live on Instagram. In the YouTube, we put all the links also from the podcast that you listen to. And in the later video, we put also the links when we put it on Facebook and Instagram. So people follow the links. Go follow Selwyn if you didn't follow him yet. And Selwyn, thanks for your time, man. And let's hope the content doesn't take that much time, but if it takes more time, I hope we speak again. Ciao.
See you soon, man. Bye, Jarno. Thanks.